We're going to inhale, filling up toward the belly. Exhale, slowly draw the navel toward the spine. Inhale, filling up. And exhale, navel toward the spine. And again, inhale, filling up. And exhale, release. Okay, we're going to fill the sides now. So filling front first, then the sides, and release. Inhale, filling the front, sides, and release. Place your right hand on your knee. And if you're having a difficulty with that because of where it's at, you can hold the knee up or let the hand hold the knee up. And then you're going to drop your head over to the left. So we're creating this nice long line all the way down the arm, through the neck, and into the attachment of the skull. So we're here for a little while, breathing deeply, jaw relaxed. To that knee, letting the head drop over, filling the lungs like we were a moment ago. Just a couple more breaths. Hard to release that connection right into the shoulder unless we include some kind of traction all the way from the hand to the head. And then release this, drop the chin toward the chest, let the head hang forward. We're going to take a few breaths here. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So take your left hand, hold your knee, and let your head drop over to the right. Keep breathing deeply. It's sort of like if you were hanging on to a bar and leaning away from it, but since we don't have a bar, we're using our knee. Nice long stretch on the left side, going right into the shoulder and into the arms. I'm sure you're feeling it somewhere. Breathe deeply. And very slowly let the head drop forward. We'll take a few breaths here. And then lift the head up. And we're just going to do some rotations in the front part of the body. So bring one ear over one shoulder and then chin to chest. And the other ear over the other shoulder. A few times. Drop the chin and slowly lift the head up. We'll do a little work for the triceps. So bring the arms up over the head. We'll start first by bending the elbows and squeezing the arms toward the top of the head and pushing the elbows up. So your head is pushing against the forearms. Your thumbs are touching your spine. So you want to bend your arms all the way so that you can touch back here. That's it. Good. Deep breaths. Good. And then we'll grab one elbow and pull it toward the top of the head, and we'll let this hand dangle. And then switch. Keep breathing deeply. And release the arms down. So from here we're going to do reverse prayer pose. A lot of you know which one I'm talking about. I will turn so you can see me. You don't have to. So the idea is we are bringing the fingertips together behind the back with the palms facing down. And at some point you might be able to bring the fingers a little further up the back. Maybe not, and that's okay. Your shoulders and your elbows and your wrists all have to cooperate. So we're just going to relax through the shoulders here. I'll turn sideways so maybe that will also give you another view. Chest is still lifted. Tailbone dropped. We're going to do our best to relax through the shoulders and wrists and hands, fingers. If getting the fingers to touch is a challenge for you, you can just kind of palms down, but have the hands a little bit overlapped. Deep breaths. Relaxing through the shoulders and breathing deeply up in between the shoulder blades and into the sternum, the breastbone. Just for about another minute. Take 2 more deep breaths. Very slowly slide the hands down without really moving them a lot. Just drag them forward and let them lay on your thighs for a few breaths. Some movement to the wrists, to the shoulders, and even the elbows. So not everyone's going to feel this the same way, but for some this is pretty intense on all those joints. Okay, so we're going to transition now into a heart-melting pose with a twist this time. So you'll need a blanket, most likely, unless you have a good thick carpet underneath you. You probably won't need more cushioning. But if you have sensitive knees, I highly recommend having this blanket. Make sure all the wrinkles are out of it so that there's nothing pressing into your bones. And so from here, we're going to do like a normal heart-melting pose. So in that case, you're coming into table position. And you're bringing your elbows to where your hands are right now. So your hands are right under your wrists, your knees are right under your hips. From here, you're going to bring your elbows to where your hands just were. Okay? And then we'll sink back. And as we sink back, the chest comes toward the floor. The bottom is in line with the calves, but not over here and not way back here. Somewhere around here. So we're going to sink with the chest coming down toward the floor before we do the twist part. So for now, just let the chest drop, relax the head down, and take deep breaths. And by the way, if this is quite intense for your shoulders, you could always use a support of some kind, like a pillow or a bolster, under the chest so that it limits how far down you stretch, because if you have shoulder injury, this could be pretty difficult. Keep breathing deeply. Filling up the lungs all the way on the sides to the armpits. take 3 more deep breaths here before we shift. And so we're going to come back up onto our elbows, shifting forward. And from here, we're going to slide the left arm underneath. And then we're going to reach the right arm long. So what we're doing is we're getting a stretch still through the rib cage, but we're also reaching long on that right arm. You might even be able to swing that arm back behind you. Or if this is a challenge, you're going to be pressing into that right arm to help you come into this twist. So it's almost like a thread the needle kind of pose. Deep breaths. So we can't be here for 5 minutes. It's just a bit too much of a challenge, but let's give it like 30 more seconds and we'll breathe deeply here. Bring that arm down, push back up onto all fours, and then we have to come into the same steps for the next side because it's a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to turn slightly so you can see this better. So from here, we have to bring our forearms down, our elbows to where our hands just were, and then tuck the right arm under and push into that left hand, either here in front of you or up over your head. And you're basically trying to twist your upper body. Maybe that left arm can come over. Keep taking deep breaths. Breathing deeply into the bottom of the lungs. Three more deep breaths. And then bring that left arm down and push back up, and we're just going to come into child's pose for a few minutes. Letting the head drop, the hands can be in front or out and behind. Breathing deeply into the back. Take 5 more deep breaths. Place your hands on the floor and round your back and push yourself up, letting the head hang. So this blanket will come in handy. We're going to come into hero pose. Today we're going to do hero one leg at a time. We need something to sit on, so a block or a bolster, and you're basically only going to be sitting on the end of it. If that's not high enough, grab another pillow, get another blanket, roll it up, place it underneath. You want the ankle edge to be at the edge, so where the ankle folds, you want that to be at the edge of the blanket so that the feet are not being extended just too much. Like that could be too much for some people. And if that's still not comfortable, roll it up a little bit so you have some height. We're going to bring the right foot forward and leave the left leg where it is. So we don't want the knees to be splaying. I know some of us can go all the way back and the knees are out wide, but we're trying to get a little bit more of the inner line today, and as well as the outer line, which means the knees have to be a little bit more together in order for that, or facing forward. So bring the right foot forward, and you might need something to lean on back here, like if you have a couple of blocks, you can put them here to lean on. It's optional, not everyone's going to need that. You may not go very far. This could be about it, or maybe even this is it. That's fine. Once you're here, lift your pelvis, tuck it under, and put it back down. Now you really should be feeling it on the inner edge of your thigh. But as time goes on, that's going to release, and then you're going to start to feel it on the outer edge. So today we're working a little bit more on the IT band, but we're going gradually into a deepening of lengthening that area. So we're starting here, I like to keep this knee bent, although this is fine if that's more comfortable for you. But I like to have my low back a little bit extended, and that bending the knee up helps that happen. Chest lifted, shoulders not sinking in. Deep breaths. For it, you can bring yourself down a little bit more. But we're not all equipped with all the props that we need. But if you have something to lean on, like some props, like bolsters or blocks, see my knee is off the ground. That means I'm not quite ready. That could be injuring my knee. So what I would need is something a little bit higher, but I can bend my elbows, keep my knee down, and come to the place that is still able to open up the leg a little bit more, but not cause any damage. It takes a little arm power, that's all. Gone a little bit too far as well. So just monitor that. It takes a little longer to open up because it's so thick. It has so many layers of muscles, which means it has so many layers of connective tissue. Plus, that connective tissue attaches to the knee and to the hip and to the pelvic bones. So there's just a lot. leg could be a little bit different. Make sure you're the top of your ankle connection to the leg and the foot is on the edge of the blanket. And make sure you've got enough proppage underneath you. This leg could be much tighter than my other one, so just honor where you're at. Keeping that right knee heavy, so you don't want to be coming so far back that the knee comes up. You will gradually lean back, but only as far as is bearable and is not causing any harm. Taking deep breaths. Maybe there's room for you to come in a little bit more. Don't forget to tuck that pelvis. Keep taking deep breaths. About 5 more deep breaths. Really press down into that right knee. And slowly make your way up. So this pose prepared us for 2 more poses coming, and so you'll see why these are good preparations when we get there. So from here we can remove whatever's underneath us and turn your toes under. We're going to come into a standing forward bend. So You can leave everything as it is. You don't really have to move anything. You're just going to straighten the legs out. Now, you may need something to lean on, like some of you will be here or even here. That's fine, just be where you are. And as the body lets you in, you start to let go and reach for something a little lower. Doesn't matter if the knees are straight, we're not struggling to keep the knees straight. Just hang forward, let go, deepen the breath. Really let the weight of the head hang, pulling on the spine, releasing the tightness between the vertebrae. Breathe as fully as possible. For those of you who want to take this a little further, you can tuck the hands under the feet. And then so you're elevating the feet slightly, keeping the heels down. This really adds to the pull along the back of the leg and into the underside of the foot. And then finally, for the last little bit, we can bring the hands together behind the back, reach them up, and then maybe if the shoulders allow, let the hands drop back. Even if they're here, it's fine. Even if they're here, it's fine. You're getting something out of it. Deep breaths. And release. Hands to the floor. And come down onto your hands and your knees. And so we're going to come into lunge. I know you are all waiting for this time to come. It's ideal to have something to put your hands on if your hips are a bit tight, but if not, there's different ways to do this. So we're going to step the right foot forward between the hands. Like so. The back knee is way back. Now I've got a blanket under the knee to cushion it. You can also put a rolled blanket or a bolster under the thigh just before the knee to help this opening now, and you're also protecting the knee. This is optional, and it's not absolutely necessary, but if you have it available and you want it, go ahead. So I'm going to continue with my knee on the blanket, and I'm going to use these blocks to support me just a little bit. So it's really easy for us to just hold up here, but we're really trying to let go and let that left hip flexor release. So you're going to go through many layers of tension. It's going to be a difficult release, but keep breathing through it. Eventually we'll be done. So you want this ankle under the knee as much as possible. You don't want this foot like that. So over here in front, just a little bit more, and then lift the chest. You can think about pulling the right hip back and the left hip forward. And then keep letting go through the left hip flexor and breathe. If you have a mantra, this is a good time to be chanting it. It'll help get you through. Breathing deeply. Keep letting go. We're almost done with this one. One more deep breath. And we're going to keep it simple today. No baby dragons, nothing like that. We're going to come out very slowly, very slowly. And we're just going to straighten the front leg. And maybe flex the foot. So we're going to send the right sit bone back. Extending that right leg. You can flex the foot as well and really just try to maintain this. If it gets too much, always you're welcome to change it up, bend the knee, unflex the foot. But really try to send the right sit bone back. Do another 5 deep breaths here. And then carefully pull this foot back. And we're going to switch legs. You want to make sure that right knee is on something cushiony so that there's not too much pressure. Remember, you can still put the bolster under the thigh if you want some more support, keeping the knee off the floor. You want this ankle under the knee once you come into full extension. And even if you're here, this knee is here. Okay, so we just don't want this foot underneath the thigh. So, squaring the hips, pulling the right hip forward and the left hip back. Breathing deeply. Letting that right hip flexor release. Letting the hips drop toward the floor as they let go. If you don't have blocks, you can always make fists and hold yourself up like that. Keep letting go through that right hip flexor. We're still here for about another minute. 3 more deep breaths. Very slowly, little by little. Just gonna push yourself out and then straighten the front leg, flex the front foot, send the left sit bone back, and we'll be here for a little while, breathing deeply. Take 5 more deep breaths here. Making our way out slowly. And then come to sit. So we're gonna come into shoelace. So I'll give you some options. The seated version is, I think blanket under the ankles is a good idea here. Seated version has 2 options. So the knees are one on top of the other, like so. Not like this, not like this. Now, if somebody's knees aren't cooperating, you can always have the top knee bent and the bottom knee straight. And this gives you the same thing on the one side, seated. Now, if this isn't working out for you, and there could be many reasons why that is, so not to feel bad, we're just going to cross at the knees here and then pull the feet. Now, if you're unable to reach the feet easily, you can always hold the shins and still get something out of this, or you can put straps or ties or sweatshirts or towels around your feet and then pull on that. So the direction is not down here with the feet. You're not going to get much out of this. You want the feet to be coming toward the shoulders. So you're up here. So this is the lying down version, and this is the seated version. So whichever you're choosing to do, make sure you're going to be able to stay here for a few minutes. So, be true to that need. And every day is different. Just because some days you can do this doesn't mean today's that day. So you have options. Okay, so the knees are piled one on top of the other. Your feet can be very close to you, which will take the pressure off the IT band and the hip. Or they can be out in front of you or beside you a little bit more, which will increase the pull. You might want something to lean on, so a block or a pillow or something like that. And we can just slowly begin to ease forward. But you have to also wait for the resistance to let go. This is a very tight area. Don't expect great amounts of movement in a short period of time. You could be here in this one spot for quite some time. So just relax into it, breathe, let go of a goal, and just be where you are. Filling the lungs with the breath. Just 5 more breaths here. Take your time pushing yourself up. Now we're not going to switch the legs just yet. We're going to add the arms. So the left leg is on top. We're going to bring the right arm up over the head and then bend the elbow touching the back. Remember the earlier stretches we were doing. Now we're going to bring this hand, the left hand, back behind you and then bend that elbow like you're going to touch your hands together. You might be able to hook your fingers, you might need to hold on to something, or maybe you can just let the hands rest on the back. So we're taking it easy here, not forcing it, but if you can, clasp on. We're not going to be here too long. Sitting up tall, you'll forget all about the legs now. Breathing into the chest. Use that head to push the arm back. One more deep breath. And then slowly release the arms. And then just extend the legs out in front of you for a moment. Without too much moving around. Take a few deep breaths. So often when we come out of these postures, we want to like shake things and move things, but that's actually counterproductive. So what you want to do is have a slow exit and some rest time between changing sides. For the biggest reason is that we want the connective tissue to land in its new place without interruption. Okay, so if you're ready, if you're on your back, you're switching the cross of your legs. And if you're seated, you're doing that as well. Knee on top of knee. So whether you are on your back and you've got your feet, I'll show you one more time how that looked. Your right knee will cross over your left and you're pulling in. So just the opposite. If you did the opposite from what I just mentioned, just do what you didn't do last time. And you're pulling the feet down. In a seated position, you have the option to move the feet closer to your body or farther from your body. And we'll be here for a little while. You might need something to lean on, but you may not be going anywhere for a little while, so just be okay with this. Breathe deeply. Something to think about here is to let the tailbone drop back instead of lift up and come forward. into the back. Use that breath to help you relax into the posture. And letting go is a choice. So you can hold on to that. You can keep advancing in the posture, but in a contracted state, which isn't actually releasing the tension. It's just pulling at the weak points. So remember, you need to relax into these postures. The goal is not to get the posture. The goal is to release the tension. So whatever you're, wherever you're at, you want to focus at least on releasing the tension before coming any further into the pose. And we'll take 5 more deep breaths here. Take your time pushing yourself up. And we'll do the arms now, bringing the left arm up over the head and then bending that elbow, touching the back. Bring the right hand behind the back and bend the elbow, trying to connect the hands. Now, of course, each side will be different. You may need a strap. Right now, my hands don't even touch, but I'm just using this position to help release through the shoulders wherever I'm at. Press the head against the forearm, lifting the elbow. So you want the elbows pointing up as much as possible. Deep breaths. More full breath. And then release, bringing the arms down, undoing the legs. If you're already on your back, just lie down on your back. Everybody else, just wait a moment here before moving again. Did a lot for the legs today. We're going to finish up in just a Shavasana. So when you're ready, you're going to bring maybe a pillow of some kind under the head. If you have a prop to put under your knees, you can do that. Today, we're just going to relax down onto the mat. Let the arms drop out to the sides, palms facing up. Feet wide and relax. Relax the jaw. Soften the eyes back into their sockets. Just find your breath and stay with it. Feel the effects of the practice today. Notice the hips and how they're feeling, the legs. Take 5 more deep breaths. If you want to stay here longer, you can. But if you're ready to get up, draw the navel to the spine, bend the knees, place the feet on the floor, and then hug the knees to the chest. And then we'll roll to one side, pausing for a breath or two. And then push down into your hands and push yourself up, letting your head hang. And once you're seated, we're going to close with 3 ohms. You can place your hands in any mudra you like, pressing the thumbs against the sternum to make connection with my heart. My right hand is pressing into my left hand to create union between my 2 sides, my masculine and feminine. And then we'll sit up tall and take a deep breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.